So we're going to start our computer walkthrough where we left off last time with this option. This is now going to be called option 2 on the sheets that we have printed out. You can start to see that we have the kitchen modeled also, which is in the foreground here, one of the islands. We're going to take a look at that in a minute. But for now, I just want to start the video with this because this is where we left, and we're going to switch to a different option here in a second. We've also changed the front door in both options to this design. So I just wanted to give a look take a look at what this design option 2 looks like with the kitchen island. The chandeliers are different, the door is going to be different, and the shelving area is different. So the next option, this is going to be option 1 in our printout. We've changed the full height cabinets to floating wood shelves. We have put a different light fixture in with that, and then we've also changed the chandelier above the front door to these different shaped baskets with some circle and some cone shapes. Cora has the names of all these products that we've modeled. So let's just fly around this for a minute. See the difference. Just going to switch between them a couple times. Okay, we spent some time, I think, last time with the furniture layout. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and look at the kitchen real quick before we do the full floor plan. I wanted to put in this, or just show in this one view, the second floor, because we're going to lose that in a minute as we jump up to the floor plan. That we've got this lower ceiling. I have a 9-foot ceiling modeled in here right now. We need to verify that height, and I also wanted to note that in the drop soffit that's existing right now above the kitchen, there looks like there's air handling ductwork in there with vents, and so I think it would be a good idea to come up with a strategy for if we're taking out that soffit, how are we going to get air, particularly in this far side of the house up against the window wall, which is west facing. It's going to get a lot of sun later in the day, so we're going to want to get some air movement to dissipate that hot air, and I wasn't sure if there was air conditioning in the project yet, or if we just need to replace that forced air, get it out here some other way. Okay, let's jump up to the floor plan. Sorry about that. So here's the floor plan now. We can see of the living room and the kitchen and the dining room. And I think this laid out pretty nice. There's dimensions of all of these islands in the printout you could take a look at to get a more detailed idea of the dimensions as we laid them out. So I did increase the dining room space by about 9 inches bigger than the sketch. So please look at those dimensions also. So that shrunk the kitchen by about 9 inches, but there just wasn't, it was really cramped around the seating here. I'll talk in a minute about another option, potentially for getting the kitchen bigger, but just wanted to look at how this is laying out 3-dimensionally. Okay, let's look at the rest of the plan really quick. Up here, so in the back part of the house, we've got a bedroom with its own bath. We have a toilet powder room with no bath, and then the laundry room slash mess room here. So I think this bathroom is sized well for a shower or a bath there, bathtub. This bedroom, as it laid out, is very long and narrow proportionally. So it's 10 feet wide. So I'd recommend looking at how we can just get a few more inches here, get a little bit bigger than 10 feet would help it proportionally not to feel quite so long and narrow. Additionally, this would be a bigger plan change and would involve looking at stuff structurally, but we could take this whole block, which is the back half of the kitchen with the refrigerator and this bathroom, and slide the whole thing to the east here, because this bedroom could get quite a bit smaller. So I'm looking at maybe even like a 2-foot slide, which would put any structure. So this wall right now aligns with this column and presumably a beam going across here. But this could slide, and your column could be at the front edge of this wing wall, which would then be even with this column. And that potentially could enlarge the kitchen by about 2 feet and reduce the size of this bedroom by 2 feet, which it's plenty big. You can see there's just a lot of empty space in here. So I think proportionally it would really help this bedroom to be reduced in size. And I think that would gain you really valuable space for the kitchen. Anyway, it's just an idea, but structurally it would have to be figured out, but it just might be worth exploring. I think gaining 2 feet of kitchen space would be great. So here we are in the washer dryer mess room, how this is laying out with a stacked washer dryer. Again, plenty of space in here. Again, it could be explored moving this wall into this room a little bit, just to reduce the size of the laundry room a bit and widen that bedroom, just to give it a better proportion. We could, right now this hallway is laying out at about 3.2, that could be reduced to 3 feet. And potentially this powder room, it could get just a few inches smaller, I think, and still work. So anyway, all that to just enlarge the width of this bedroom a little bit, I think would help that bedroom out a little bit. But again, it's an exploration thing that would have effects in other rooms. So I want to look at this bathroom really quick, our powder room. So we've pushed this wall to the west into the stair, and I just wanted to note that it's starting to reduce the headroom above the toilet. This is an area that needs to be studied. I think in the sketch it looks like you pushed the stair 1 tread into the living room, so that's how I have it. This is just a rough out. I haven't measured these stairs, so this is assuming a rise of 7 inches on each tread, where we would be at when we hit this bathroom wall and what would happen to this headroom. So it needs to be studied, because right now it would have this little soffit with a low point of about 6'7". So code minimum for ceiling heights is 7 feet, and I think, you could argue this is a soffit, but you want 7 feet of headroom, so people aren't hitting their head. This is over the toilet and over the vanity, so I don't know if we could get away with something. We might be able to get away saying that's, a soffit and is not going to be where somebody hits their head, but again, just needs to be studied, the stair rise and run and how it affects the headroom in this powder room. So there would be a little triangular soffit, or we would square it off into a horizontal thing and maybe take it all the way across just to make it clean in there. But I think you'd want to try and get up around 7 feet, and our door height is like 6'8" to the opening, or 6'10" to the top, so we could try to align with that somewhere. And I think a soffit height, if we call it a soffit, we might be able to get away with having that less than 7 feet. So. So those are the areas that I thought might be worth exploring further with the floor plan. But otherwise, the first floor looks like it's laying out really nice. It's a great layout. I think this is just going to be a really cool space. The kitchen's really nice with those 2 islands and the bar stool area. And I think I'll just fly around the kitchen a little bit so you can kind of get these are the actual appliances. that Rachel had sent us. You do need to talk about the size of the farmhouse sink. This is the table's sized accurately. And otherwise, just review the dimensions in the floor plan and drawing printout. And if it's starting to look good, we can make some minor adjustments, and then we'll start to get into the detail of the walls and schematically what the cabinets might look like.